legal questions this morning, as we do every Tuesday and Thursday, and we always turn to Fox 26 senior legal analyst Chris Tritico for that. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Let's get into this first question. This is from Cheryl. She writes, I pay for water and garbage through a mud district. Within a 12-month period, 3 payments have come up missing. These payments were in different months. My bank statements indicate payments were paid and received. I pay all my bills through my bank's bill pay, and I have had no other issues with other creditors receiving their payments. The MUD refuses to accept my bank statements as proof of payment. I even paid the bank's legal department for proof of payment. They sent the exact same statements. Are bank statements sufficient proof of payment? My bill is now over $300. I'm a 74-year-old disabled veteran. They are threatening to turn off my water. What can I do about this?
Well, Cheryl, the bank statement should be enough because you pay through the bank's bill pay, and that's really the only proof you have that it was paid. But the bank statements show that the money was sent and received, and so that should be enough. What I want you to do is recontact the bank's legal department and do it in writing and tell them, I could have downloaded these myself. I paid you for proof, a letter or something that indicates that they received the money, and so give me what I paid for. And then contact the MUD district back and get back with them and go over this again and tell them to show you proof that they did not receive the money. You know they got the money. They need to show you proof that they didn't receive the money. If all else fails, you're going to have to, unfortunately, you're going to have to contact the lawyer of your choice. If you don't have one, call the Houston Bar Association, and they will help you find someone who can help someone on a limited income like yourself. I hope you don't have to do that, but good luck.
Yeah, I hope not. Isn't it irritating when you know you paid somebody and they're telling you you didn't pay them?
It's just terrible, terrible.
Yeah. Okay, let's turn to this next question. This is from Fanny. She writes, my husband bought a house for my mother-in-law just a few years ago. Both she and my husband appear as owners on the deed. In the case of her death, what options do we have so the house is left to my husband and not split among his siblings? Would it be better to get her name off the deed completely before she passes away? Our fear is she will try to leave her half to his siblings, even though my husband paid for it.
Well, Fanny, you're absolutely right. Since your husband bought the house, why it was left in her name is beyond me. When he bought it, it should have been deeded 100% to him. So you need to get with her while she's competent and get her to deed her half to your husband, because that's what he bought and that's what he owns. If she refuses to do that, then you may have to file what's called a suit to quiet title. I almost said the wrong name there. A suit to quiet title, which will force her to put the title in his name. You shouldn't have to do that with family, but that's maybe the only way to get this done. But because it's in her name, she can leave it to her kids, and that would be a tragedy that would cause a lot of litigation to prove that he's the one who owns the property. Good luck.
Okay, our final question this morning comes from Nan, who writes, in 2016, I used an online service to create a website for a local winery. I used a picture of cooked and prepared fish for this. I admittedly missed the fine print in the terms of service that said not to use the images on the site, and now 8 years later, my winery customer forwarded the email below from a visual rights group in California. They claim to represent an Austin-based photographer and demand over $500 for copyright infringement. Is my only option to pay up? I don't know if this is legit or if paying will prevent any further action. Immediately upon receiving this notice, the offending image was pulled from the site. Could they have sent a C&D, a cease and desist letter in this case?
Well, Nan, they could have sent a cease and desist letter, but this was a copyright violation. Images are owned by the photographer who takes them. And when you use an image on a website without that photographer's permission or without paying them, you've violated their copyright. This company is real. What they're doing is lawful. They're hired by people like this photographer to search the internet and find copyright violations of their photographs and their images and do exactly what they're doing. If you don't pay this, it's just going to keep going up, and eventually they're going to sue you, and you're going to cost you a lot more money. Pay up, settle it, and be done with it, and don't do it again. Good luck.
All right. We always appreciate you and your expertise.
You bet.
If you want to send us your legal questions, if you have an issue, just head to our website. It's fox26houston.com. Head to Chris's segments under the Morning News tab. And as always, for any specific information and advice, contact an attorney of your choice.